overgrown mountain marathon. It was up to you, but you should have gone to the Nevele. It's a place to go with your family, or when the two of you want some privacy, where you feel at home and you're glad to be at the Nevele. At the Nevele, you can play all day or lie beside the pool.
You know the greatest food and service is the rule.
The Nevele was opened in 1901 by Charles Slutsky, who named the Nevele Farm House as the first accommodations. According to local lore, Nevele, or 11 spelled backwards, is called after the 11 19th century schoolteachers who discovered the waterfall within the present-day property. Another story goes that Charles Slutsky had 11 children, and the name may have come from that instead. The Nevele dates back to the early days of the Borscht Belt. The Borscht Belt, or Yiddish Alps as Larry King called it, is a colloquial term for the primarily defunct summer resorts of the Catskill Mountains in parts of Sullivan, Orange, and Ulster counties in upstate New York. A 2019 review of the history is more specific. In its heyday, as many as 500 resorts catered to guests of various incomes. These resorts and the Borscht Belt bungalow colonies were popular vacation spots for New York City Jews from the 1920s through the 1960s. By the late 1950s, many began closing, with most gone by the 1970s. But significant resorts continued to operate, a few into the 1990s. Groslinger's Catskill Resort Hotel closed in the late 1980s, and the Concord Resort Hotel struggled to stay open until the 1990s and was demolished for a possible casino site. As the Nevele grew in popularity, changes were made to the property through the 1920s and 1930s. New wings were designed in the fashion of famous Mission Revival architecture. The 50s and 60s saw more modern designs. These included the Indoor Pool and Health Club in 1954 and the Golden Gate and Empire Wings in 1956. In 1964, a 10-story high-rise, the Nevele Tower, became the defining feature of the resort. The Slutsky's sold the Nevele and Falls View, the adjacent resort, to Michael Wolff and Joel Hoffman. They in turn combined the hotels into the Nevele Grand Hotel. Living up to its name, there were 430 guest rooms at its peak, and the Nevele Grand employed a staff of 800. There were 2 golf courses on the site. The first, 18-hole course, was opened in the 1940s and later renovated. The second 9-hole course was acquired when the 2 hotels merged. The ski chalet and slope gave guests access to a skating rink, skate and ski shop, a snack bar, and an ornate lobby with fireplace. Other amenities included 2 grand ballrooms, convenience halls, and a Hawaiian-themed nightclub. In 2006, the Nevele Grand Resort was struggling to stay afloat. The decision was made to sell off Falls View, which is still open today as Honors Haven. The Nevele remained open for 3 more years before closing without notice after the 4th of July weekend in 2009, the owners failing to pay taxes on the property. The Nevele was set to go up for auction in the fall of 2009, but in the last minute, it was called off after a potential buyer was found. However, the property remained unsold and fell into disrepair. In early 2010, the New York State Supreme Court granted Michael Wolff full ownership of the Nevele. In the spring of 2012, Nevele Investors LLC announced the Nevele Grand Resort would undergo a $500 million renovation, turning the Nevele into a resort and casino. Nevele Investors LLC could not secure the gambling license and the project was canceled. After the state denied the gambling license, another developer considered building a sports complex, adding a spa and other amenities. The sports complex is the main attraction. In the fall of 2017, Nevele Investors LLC announced that the Nevele would reopen in March of 2020. Since then, the developer has backed out, unable to secure the needed funds, leaving the future of the Nevele in balance. There have been some reports that in 2020, the property is up for sale again. In early 2022, reports also surfaced of a mixed-use hotel and residential property. So much of this place is about to collapse. I lost track of how many times the carpet saved me from falling through the floor. I don't often say this, but take extreme caution if visiting the Nevele. So much is unrecognizable of what it once was. There isn't anything worth saving here. Sadly, the once grand hotel will be reduced to rubble. Thank you so much for tuning into the video. If you enjoyed it, remember to hit that thumbs up button. This helps YouTube understand that people like the content and recommend it to others who may also enjoy it. If you're feeling generous, consider subscribing to the channel and clicking that notification bell to stay up to date on the new content. As always, until next time, explorers, stay safe.
Some of this stuff is really fucking well done.
Yeah, no. Yeah, this was definitely a gem. Yeah. Well, this makes sense. They wanted you to come here, and they didn't want you to leave. And there's the ski slopes.
Oh yeah.
This is actually really a shame what's happened here.
So what's on the other side?